I'm gonna have several artists draw Slappy the Dummy in their own style, but here's the catch. I am not gonna be telling them that they're drawing Slappy the Dummy. Instead, I'm gonna be giving the artist the description that's used for Slappy when he made his very first appearance in Goosebumps in Night of the Living Dummy. In case you need a refresher, here's how the book describes Slappy when he first appears. Chris stared suspiciously at the dummy. His brown hair was painted on his head. His blue eyes moved only from side to side and couldn't blink. He had bright red painted lips, curved up, turn the page, into an eerie smile. The lower lip had a chip on one side so that it didn't quite match the upper lip. The dummy wore a gray, double-breasted suit over a white shirt collar. The collar wasn't attached to a shirt. Instead, the dummy's wooden chest was painted white. Big brown leather shoes were attached to the ends of his thin, dangling legs. So that's the description the artists are gonna get and nothing else. Alright, so using a website called Fiverr, I found several different artists at different price points and gave them this description. Again, I did not tell them that this is Slappy from Goosebumps. I just gave them a description and nothing else. So I placed these orders a while back and they're all completed, but I haven't seen them yet. So we're gonna start with the cheapest artwork and move our way up and see how vastly different they get. So this first one was the cheapest at only $5. All right, so that's about what I would expect for $5. It's quite human-like. It's definitely not ventriloquist size unless it's like, I don't know. It looks a little uncanny. Like it's a normal like full-on adult, but still has that like ventriloquist dummy look to it. And it actually does look sort of like Slappy, like the face and everything, you know, not the size, that's totally inaccurate. I kind of wonder if they got this like the head from somewhere, because that looks pretty good. Like that's what Slappy kind of looks like, what usually looks like when he's depicted. So good job there, I guess. I mean, it's like $5, so you can't be too harsh on it. So I mean, I guess it's passable. All right, so this next one was 5 times as expensive as the last one. So let's see what they came up with. Okay, so this one definitely a step up. I can definitely see it already. Just the quality of the artwork looks a lot better, and like they did a really good job taking the description, like the tie and everything. It's painted on there, so you can see that. The face, obviously, that doesn't quite look like Slappy. Looks a little more like Mr. Wood, but again, they're only going off the description, not like all the other stuff. They got the brown boots there and everything, so it definitely looks more ventriloquisty than the last one. So props to them for that. Definitely too, a lot more detail to it. Like this actually looks like pretty good, especially for $25. I'm just like, good stuff. If things keep going up like this, I'm really excited to see what the most expensive artwork looks like. So the next artist was $50, so let's see what they came up with. Okay, I mean, it's very dark. I don't know, this one seems a little bit of a downgrade, at least just in terms of quality, but it does look a little scarier than the last one. The other one had a little bit of a positive feel. This one definitely gives a lot more of the creepy scariness. So, I mean, in that sense, it does fit better with Slappy. One thing I really like too is just like, the legs definitely have kind of that like dummy feel, you know, dummies don't really, it's just like padding or whatever with ventriloquist dummy. So I kind of get that with the legs here. Obviously it doesn't really look like Slappy a whole lot, but at the same time, I mean, you can't blame him. The hair is kind of interesting. It's like kind of like, the hair almost looks like its own piece, like he's wearing a toupee or something. The hands as well, they definitely do a good job of like looking like dummy hands, you know, just molded together. I don't know, maybe this guy could have been like another ventriloquist dummy character in the Goosebumps universe. I mean, he looks pretty creepy, you know, and looks pretty legit, so I mean, good job. All right, we're up to $70, and this person is specialized in anime, so I'm really interested to see what they did with this one. Okay, so that's definitely different. It kind of looks like Horror Town almost, like that style of artwork. It does kind of look like Slappy a little bit, but definitely not as sinister as he's usually depicted. I think for the most part did a good job, but this one doesn't really look like, you know, the white shirt's supposed to be like painted on like it says in the book, but this all looks like kind of fabric-y. He looks very human-like, which is a little kind of bizarre to see, but yeah, he kind of just looks like a normal man, but like with a very distinctive chin. I mean, the artwork's definitely good. I guess like in this context, like Goosebumps, Slappy, horror, and everything, it doesn't really match up, but at the same time, this guy, this artist was doing anime, so you really can't blame him. Overall, the artwork's good for this one. It's just, you know, not super Slappy-like. All right, so this is the most expensive artist. This was $100, so let's see what they came up with. Okay, so this one's interesting looking. Definitely a higher quality. There's a lot more detailing and everything. It looks nice, but it almost has this like kind of monkey look to it. I don't know, it's a little weird. Again, kind of like the other ones, it's sort of weird because it kind of has this like human look to them, you know, like the only thing that really just make it look like ventriloquist dummy is the mouth, really, with the lines and everything, but otherwise this kind of just looks like a very strange human. Definitely does not look like Slappy at all, other than, you know, this guy kind of looks like a ventriloquist doll, but that's about it. I don't know if they got must mention there's a chip in the lower lip, but I don't think that made it in there. The legs do kind of have that like ventriloquist dummy look, so I mean, it does have that going for it. And actually, like too, the chest is like very big and everything, which I think is kind of normal of ventriloquist dolls, because you know that's where the controls are in their back and everything. So Maybe I'm not giving enough credit. All right, so now I'm gonna be ranking the 5 different artworks on how closely they are to what Slappy actually looks like. At the very bottom, I actually have the $100 one. It's just, I think the art style, I don't know, it did not look like Slappy at all. I think it was the least accurate one. It's not anything about the quality, it's just how accurate it was to Slappy. Definitely don't think this looks like Slappy at all. Next is the $25 artwork. I think this one looks the best of all of them, but in terms of how close it looks to Slappy, it's not that good. The artist did an amazing job with it, like the detail and everything. I think it was the only one that included like the red tie on there, but you know, it looks a little more like Mr. Wood. Better than the $100 one, but still not anything that close to what Slappy actually looks like. Right above that, we have the $70 one. This one still doesn't look a whole lot like Slappy, but I don't know, just something like with the way the head's shaped and everything, I felt like it kinda, you know, a little bit more, but it was still not really that great. Surprisingly, I have the $5 one up this high. Like, I don't think it looks that great. Again, it's $5, I don't want to be too hard, but I think it's just mainly the face, and I'm almost positive the artist just took a real like Slappy face and put it on the artwork. But anyways, it still does look like Slappy kind of, so I have to give it at least second place. And at the very top, the one that looks the most like Slappy, I think, is the $50 piece of artwork. It's not like 100% accurate, but maybe it's because it's so dark and everything, but I don't know, this one just seems the most like Slappy based on the description. Again, obviously I didn't tell him to draw a Slappy or anything, so we can't be too harsh, and obviously this one doesn't 100% look like Slappy, but out of all of them, I think this is the most accurate representation of the living dummy. Anyways, here's the full ranking up here. We got the top, this one looks the most like Slappy. Down here, not so much. Now the real question though is which version of Slappy is the best? Is it the movie, is it the TV show, or is it something else? Well, we did a video ranking every version of Slappy from worst to best, and you can watch it right over here.